And the U.S. Treasury Secretary says the government shutdown is taking a toll on the economy. It's already causing delays at airports, as Sam just mentioned, and draining billions in GDP every week. But now it's also putting the reliability of key government metrics like inflation at risk. Business reporter Alexis Christoforous is here with more on that. So, Alexis, we know how important these inflation reports are to determining things like interest rates. So what's happening? How is the shutdown leading to those being unreliable? And then what's the impact of that?
All great questions. You and I would normally be talking about the inflation report this morning because it was supposed to come out today for September. We didn't get it. But here's the rub. Different from other reports, we are going to get this inflation report just 9 days late. Why is that? This report is critical to the government coming up with the cost of living adjustment for Social Security recipients. So in essence, how much of a raise, if any, Social Security recipients will get next year. They need that critical inflation report by November 1 to come up with that calculation. So the government's actually calling back some employees specifically to the Labor Department to come up with this inflation report, to gather all the information and release it next week. Yesterday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell spoke at a conference in Philadelphia and again said not having this data is critical, and that at least they'll have that piece of inflation data before their meeting at the end of this month to determine the fate of interest rates. And
you say even with that limited data, grocery prices appear to be surging. What's happening there?
Yeah, I think all you need to do is go to the grocery store and you see almost down every aisle inflation at work. So the only thing we can do is really look to the most recent number, and that's the August inflation report. So the numbers you see on your screen are for over the past year, from August of 24 to August of this year. Coffee prices up nearly 21%, ground beef up about 13%. And that's really beef across the spectrum. Any kind of steak that you're buying, you're paying more for it. Fruits and vegetables also higher. Banana prices up about 7%. So, again, the Fed saying there's no risk-free path forward. If they raise rates too quickly, it could cause inflation to rise even more. If they go too slowly, it could mean more pain for a job market that's already showing concerning levels of weakening. Diane.
All right. And Alexis, I also wanted to ask you about what you're looking for next, given so many of these variables are on pause.
We're looking at some private data because we don't have the government data to rely on. I think eyes will be on this next Friday inflation report like never before. It's the only piece of government data we have before that Fed meeting.
All right. Interesting. Alexis Christoforous, thank you.
You bet.